Hello, and welcome back to Fantasy Avenue. Mikey Andersen. It's been a week. It's been a long time. Been 2 weeks, actually, I believe. Or a week and a half. I did one last, like Sunday, which is, one might say that's unhelpful. I say I'm getting the episodes out when I can, okay? So I'm doing my best. But we're back in the office now. It's not an office. It's a room. It's my room. Anyway, we're back. I call it the office. We're back in the office. I've got my laundry to my left, a snack to my right, and some fantasy knowledge in my brain, and I'm gonna lay it down. So we're here. I'm feeling a little bit of the voice right now. It's 9:42 at night. Finn, you know what I said? I said I'm either not doing an episode this week or I'm doing it at 10 o'clock tonight. And I'm sorry. I would love to have you over to my house at 10 o'clock. We could have some ice cream, turn on a little TV, and film a podcast, and maybe have ourselves a little evening to ourselves, if you know what I mean. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm kidding. What I mean to say is, Finn, we'll get it done. Hopefully, when I'm done with college applications, which, holy crap, are those things a doozy? I mean, no one tells you if you don't want to go to Montana State University, you're actually gonna have to put some work in. Holy crap. I mean, they probably do tell you, but they didn't tell me enough. My goodness, it's a lot of work. I got that. I got football. I got senior night. Podcast. I gotta watch. I got a lot of stuff to do. And man, there's nothing more I want to do when I get home than eat cookies and watch a movie. So that battle that's going on in my head when I get home between what I need to do after practice and what I want to do, it's a hard thing to do. But we're out here, and we're gonna lay down some fantasy advice. So I love that you're here with me. Another thing, I'm sure my mom's gonna listen to this. She was just harping on me through the door there that I wasn't starting my podcast. I've been sitting here for about 15 minutes, cooking up a little trade for myself. So I got to shout out the trade, and I got to shout out Coach Boucher getting it done with a bet at his work. He was telling me about it at practice. $40 in total that he won tonight based on the Rams. Based on the Rams victory. So you know what? Good for him. I didn't know he's a Rams fan. Playing the Vikings there on a high. I don't know if I necessarily believed that the Rams were going to win, but I smiled and nodded, right? And I said, okay, go ahead and win yourself $40, and he did. So I got to give him a shout out for that. And then I want to shout out the trade. Alistair, a tough negotiator. He's trying to do what I'm trying to do. We both trying to talk to each other like we know what's best for the other person. But I think we actually did get what's best for the other person. I got Brian Thomas. He got Brian Robinson. Two guys playing, around the top 10 at their position right now. And two guys just getting a lot of carries, a lot of touchdowns. They're both pretty touchdown dependent, which if you know fantasy football, touchdown dependent is not great because it means a lot of your points come from getting touchdowns, and touchdowns are not necessarily something you can rely on week to week, whereas, catches, yards. If a dude gets 100 yards every game, he's probably going to get 100 yards the next game because it just means he gets the ball and he makes plays. Touchdowns are something that, it just depends on who gets the ball in the red zone, whatever. Anyway, so we're trading some two dudes who both kind of have risk but are playing well. And I had Brian Robinson on my bench. My running backs in this league are Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, James Cook, and then I have Christian McCaffrey as well waiting in the wings. So do I need Brian Robinson as a 4th to 5th running back once Christian McCaffrey comes back? Which, Holden, Morgan, he's coming back. I don't want to hear no more hate. That guy is a tough, right? He's a real put your head down, get to work, a gritty guy. He was good in the classroom. That's what the scouts told me about him when he was coming out of high school. They said this kid, he's got a nice respectable haircut. He's a kid you'd want to take home your daughter to bring home to Thanksgiving dinner, and by golly, he works hard. And so he's going to be there for sure. So I didn't really need a running back, right? And then I'm looking at receivers. My receiver room is weak. I'm not going to lie. Tyreek Hill, weak season. I drafted Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Thought it was going to be a sick combo because they usually both scored a lot of points last year. Well, that really bit me in the butt when Tua got hurt because then I had two just duds. My other receivers were DJ Moore and Jalen Reed, and those guys are good, but they're not world beaters by any means. As Chandler would say, he's not a world beater. He's a do your job kind of guy. He's average, okay. So that was my receiver situation, and I needed to make a change. And I looked at Alistair's team. His receivers are Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Scary Terry McLaurin, and Brian Thomas from the Jags, the rookie. So he obviously doesn't need Brian Thomas, right? We traded a bench player for a bench player on our respective rosters and then ended up with two starters. So, that's the kind of trade. Once you get past the bickering and get past the attempted fleecing, you can really get down to something good and really build, I believe, a wonderful relationship out of that. Alistair, if you're listening, I'm gonna look to trade with you in the future. So I just wanted to say I respect you as a man, and I respect you as a fantasy player, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in school and giving you a firm handshake. With all that out of the way, let's get into some fantasy stuff. Let's get back to the roots, okay? Let's get back to the roots. Look at the fantasy leaders from the last week. Really see who we're laying down, and then see who might be a target to pick up. We're gonna look at quarterbacks right now, and I have a guy for you, and it's a dude that I got myself, that I got my grubby little hands on, and I ate it up. I loved it. Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson was not the best quarterback in fantasy last week. That would go to Lamar Jackson, who is the best player in fantasy football right now and a leading MVP candidate. He's a dog. The days of saying he's a running back are over. The only running back I will be doing is running back to the draft and hoping I can start him. You see what I did there? Just kidding, because I drafted Josh Allen. He's playing pretty good too. Moving on. Baker Mayfield, number 2 quarterback. He's a dog. I'll run back and try to draft him as well. And the number 3 comes Russell Wilson, and he is your ad. Now, this is coming out a little late for the waiver wires, and I'm trying to get them done. I'm trying to get these episodes done on Tuesdays. I really am. If he's still available, you need to pick him up now in your league. But I got so much going on. I just need to get these college essays out of the way. Halloween needs to get out of the way. It's October 24th. This week, I got to carve pumpkin. I got to finish my college essays. I got a football game. I got to carve pumpkins. I got to watch some playoff soccer. I got stuff to do every day, and it's just loading up. Luckily, next week for football, because we're absolute animals, 8-0. Let's go Raptors. We get a bye week, so that'll help me a little bit, and I really do feel good about getting the Tuesday episode out next week. If I can, right? That's coming up on the deadlines. That's coming up on Halloween. But college stuff will be done for a little bit, and Halloween will be done. And by the time 2 weeks comes around, it's going to be like November 5th, and that's just when people are really feeling bad about November, if you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. November 5th is where it hits. That fifth day is where the regret hits. The deals you made with your friends. Oh, if you know, you know. But that's maybe where I can get a podcast out, and you'll be laying in bed thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do with my time right now? Should I listen to Fantasy Avenue? Yes, I should. Should I have picked up Russell Wilson off the waivers? Yes, I should. Should I move on to other quarterbacks on the list? Okay, all right, Mikey, nice tidbit, and you're moving on. That's really the ad for this week. I mean, the top guys are not surprising. Lamar, Baker, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. Drake May, now that's a little interesting. Drake May is actually had 2 20-point games, so I don't hate that either, okay? I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to say Drake May and Russell Wilson are your quarterbacks. A rare week where we actually have some quarterback additions to look at. Will they have bad weeks? Yes. And when they do, don't come crawling back to me, pointing your finger at me. They're not going to be all-stars, right? They're not going to be Lamar Jacksons, but they'll get the job done if you're struggling at the position, and I would love for you to get the job done. Let's go to running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs. God, something about him. I don't even know what it is. I look at him. His hair is cool. His name is cool. How he runs is cool. He's a running back from Alabama, which in my eyes is just cool. He's only 5'9". I like everything about him. I look at him and I just think this guy's an absolute animal, and then he plays like it, and it just turns me up. So he laid down a heck of a performance. Rachaad White, coming off really a rough fantasy season so far, finally put up a performance. The first time he's been over 16 points all season, gets 29.1. Good for him. I had him drafted in a league. Still didn't help me win that matchup. Man, it's a hard knock life out there when you're in a 17-team league. There's not a lot of people to add, but he's a dude. He's a dude that I can at least lean on. Saquon 3. I want to focus on Joe Mixon at 4 and Javonte Williams at 6. Javonte Williams is really exciting to me as a Bronco fan, obviously, but finally he looks like okay. Now 2 weeks ago he had a pretty bad week. The week before that he scored 16, and before that he scored 10, and he's finally getting carries. Last week 26 with 2 touchdowns. This is not a guy that's automatically you should trade for. As I've said, touchdown dependent. Not necessarily something you need to look at. But he is a dude that you can pick up off of waivers, and more just like a Bronco fan. Dude, we haven't had a good running back since, I don't even know, Phillip Lindsay. Emery knows what I'm talking about. She's seen rookie Phillip Lindsay. That kid was special. Other than him, like CJ Andersen when we won the Super Bowl, Broncos running backs have been a struggle. And Javonte Williams looked like an animal coming out of college, and then he got hurt. I just hope and pray that he can make a play. But I skipped over Joe Mixon. My God, Joe Mixon, I have him in a league. He's like the hot commodity for trading. Everyone wanted to get his hands on him this week, and I said, I'm not trading him away that easily. He's played 3 games this year. He scored over 25 in every game. That is absolutely insane. Like I was dang close to trading him away to Holden. God, I'm glad I didn't. Now that I got myself a receiver anyway, because I feel like this guy can be a league winner. You're not going to get to trade him, but he is a must start. Like if you don't start him, let's look on Sleeper. He's 98% rostered, which I don't even understand how that is. It must be some weird leagues where only like 2 teams are in there. 94% start. That means 4% of teams on Sleeper have him on the bench. You 4% of teams are why the world has war, okay? You are why the world has starvation. Fix it. Fix it. World peace is at your fingertips if you just start Joe Mixon. I'm begging you. I'm doing it as much for you as I am for the rest of the world. Joe Mixon's a baller. It just makes me sad that people are missing out on 25 points per game. Joe Mixon, keep doing your thing. I believe in you. I love you. Let's go to receivers. Whoo! Man, what a day. I'm looking at the receivers and I'm seeing a couple things I want to touch on. I'm seeing a couple things. Amon-Ra, number 1 receiver. He's an animal. George Pickens. Now that's exciting. George Pickens is a pretty big ad this. He's a guy I'm gonna look for to trade like maybe after he has like his first bad week, because that Russell Wilson connection, same with Courtland Sutton last year. Russell Wilson finds a kind of like, I don't know what the word is, like not brash, just kind of like not polished, right? Courtland Sutton and George Pickens are both not route runners. They're throw the ball up and they come down with it type of dudes, you know? They're not like gonna be open with their blazing speed, but they're just like kind of rough and rugged receivers. And George Pickens got an attitude too. I mean, he's the diva receiver. He's the Antonio Brown before Antonio Brown's brain turned into a watermelon. George Pickens, he's a dude I'm going to look for because that connection's real. And then Rashad Bateman came out of absolutely nowhere, leading the team. And now, and you look at his stats, and they're not bad. They're building at like 10 points per game. He's a sneaky ad that I think will be available in a lot of leagues. The 26th overall receiver, only 42% rostered. I'm going to look at Rashad Bateman, okay? I'm going to look at Rashad Bateman right now as an ad for you guys. And then I got to touch on number 4, Brian Thomas. I traded for him. He scored 22 before I traded for him. Hopefully he does it again. I've already talked about him, but I hope and pray that he's going to lay it down. Let's go to tight ends. Tight ends have been like, I don't even know what to say. They've just been like a rough point this entire season in terms of like points and consistency, and like people who draft, like almost every tight end drafted early didn't play very well, you know. So they've just been like hard to look at, honestly, especially like in these periods where I look over the best players. Sometimes I literally just skip tight ends because I'm just like, these guys suck. But David Njoku is one of those tight ends that came in really hyped and has missed a lot of time, and he lays down 23 points, 10 catches. Tight end's getting 10 catches, you know he's doing something right, because he's getting open and he's getting the ball out. He's getting looked at a lot, and he's a dude I'm going to look at for the future. Jonnu Smith, that's interesting to me, because he was only on the field for 50% of the snaps, and he got 22 points. That's a little weird to me. Most of these dudes. Cade Otton was on the field for 98% of the snaps, the 5th-ranked tight end. He's a blocking tight end that catches passes. But at the same time, it's just like, if you're on the field for less than half the plays, can you be fantasy like depended on? I don't really know. An interesting pickup that you might think about, but probably not. Mark Andrews, number 3, finally getting something. There's a dude I really want to talk about, though, and it's he's at the very bottom. He's at the very bottom. Travis Kelce, you have been the bane of my existence. Please just catch a ball. I have him in a dynasty league. Looking back on it, I did not do that dynasty league right. I drafted a quarterback tight end round 1 and 2, and you might think, Mikey, how many times have you said don't draft a quarterback in the first round? A billion. But I kind of thought, like, okay, I'm going to lock down the quarterback and tight end spot because there's only one of each, right? It's not like 2 receivers, and I'm just never going to have to think about them for years of this league. So I drafted Josh Allen and Travis Kelce. Now, Josh Allen was not a bad pick, I don't think. I think I did pretty well. But turning around and picking up Travis Kelce right after that, I think hurt me. I think I reached for an old guy. I didn't think about age very much. He's getting old, and he just hasn't played very good since then. It's regret. I work so hard in that league to trade and to use the waiver wire to kind of like honestly get my draft capital back because I'm just lacking a star power player. I'm lacking a round one type running back or receiver, which sucks. And I've traded a lot. You can look at my receivers and running backs. They're not terrible. Josh Jacobs, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, Brian Robinson, like, they're not bad, but it's just like, where's your firepower, Mikey? So that always hurts. It really does. I don't really know what to do, honestly. I kind of just think I got to roll with the punches a little bit, but it's gonna be a little hard for me. It's gonna be a little hard. We're gonna move on though. I don't want to be a guy who drops a sob story on you at 9:59 at night. No, I want to be a guy who moves on with a happy look on my face. And so we're going to talk about the defenses, and then we're going to head out, and we're going to focus on the rest of our lives together, okay? The defenses, the Broncos defense led the way, baby. 23 points. We played dang good. And I really want to look at, like, not even the defenses, because the Broncos defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, that's hands down. It's more of who are we playing, okay? And you guys have heard me talk about this. It's week by week. New Orleans, Carolina, Las Vegas. Those are three teams that are just getting demolished every week, right? In terms of offense, their offenses are just dying. And so you want to look at the defenses that they're playing this week and pair that with past points. You look at who the Broncos are playing. They're playing the Panthers. I'm going to come out and say, I should honestly, dude, I'm 18. I might as well make a sports bet. I mean, I gotta bet, like, I don't know what. Something about the Broncos defense. The under on the Panthers score, I'm going to do something because the Broncos are going to lay it down on the Panthers. All your Panther fans out there, get ready for some mile-high pounding because it's about to go down. That was not meant in that way necessarily, but the point still stands, okay? I mean, I'm talking about how the Broncos stadium is a mile high and the Panthers motto is keep pounding, so we are going to, like, smash them. Not smash. Wow. This is getting worse and worse. I'm going to move on. 17 minutes in the episode. Some stuff, words have multiple meanings, and I'm coming up to that right now, and I'm going, dang, I need to get away from these words. Anyway, Broncos defense is a must play. Wow. And then another one, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going up against the Raiders this week. The Chiefs defense has been not bad, honestly. You might look at the Chiefs. You might look at the Chiefs as a viable play this week. I think that's going to be about it. I think that's. I mean, I don't feel like I need to talk about kickers, and everything else is just kind of the wind and the breeze, right? It's a good episode, an 18-minute episode. I like that. I like that, especially when it's 10 o'clock and I really want to go to bed. But man, I mean, what a week. Chiefs defense is going to be good. Broncos defense is going to be good. Russell Wilson and Drake May must adds. Look at Rashad Bateman over there a little bit. Keep your running backs in mind. Joe Mixon, freaking animal. And that's kind of it. That's a good episode. I'm happy. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go live for football and then get ready for senior night. It's gonna be a nice. I mean, I can picture the atmosphere right now. I'm excited. It's fall. See, the football, NFL football's in full swing, but high school football is almost over, and that's a little. It's sad. It's exciting. It's sad. It's everything, and man, it just makes me want to go play. So, I'm signing out. This has been Mikey Andersen. We'll see you next week. Hopefully earlier in the week. If not, then I got you 2 weeks from now. I'll hit that earlier in the week. But thanks for hanging out with me. Fantasy Avenue, out.